We've have completely flipped over what is volatility farming and how users can get started. Previously, in volatility farming, users would have to put up two assets in LP. So you could think of like Bitcoin and USDC, and you would face a normal impermanent loss. But because of volatility farming and the way our vaults work with arbitrage taxes, we're able to provide our users extra LP yield that they would have not earned otherwise. But now with leverage volatility farming, we're giving users the opportunity to borrow the other asset for LP. So they can deposit Bitcoin and borrow USDC instead of putting up their own USDC. That gives them more exposure to Bitcoin, but also gives them leverage exposure to the LP yield. And from this, a lot of users who are borrowing are earning really high yield from LP. So they're able to pay really high yield back to lenders, much higher than what lenders are used to. Because most times lenders, whenever they're lending into like a Aave or isolated market, the borrower takes that collateral or the lending funds and takes it out of the protocol and makes money elsewhere. And they're paying back an interest rate, a lower interest rate, maybe like 5%, 7% is pretty standard on USDC. But with Peapods, we keep that debt in-house in the protocol inside LP, and we're actually able to use the debt in an effective, productive way in volatility farming. So it's producing revenue. It's not just this, you're lending USDC to us and then our users are taking it to other platforms. What you lend to our protocol is being used by users on our protocol to earn more revenue for everyone involved. So I think it really is like a call back to the 3-3 meme that Olympus started. Peas is sort of expanding upon this idea, and we call it peas now, and just keeping peas in house, keeping all the liquidity in house.
That is awesome. And I'm curious if you're able to kind of give an overview, Del. I mean, I've heard you, go through this before, but for those who don't know, can you go over what volatility farming is at a high level?
Yeah, so volatility farming is intentionally creating price discrepancies, and you're capturing yield from those price discrepancies. So if I have Bitcoin and I wrap it to P Bitcoin, it's a volatility harvesting synthetic. It works like wrap staked ETH. You just hold this token and it earns yield. But you can provide liquidity to that token, the P Bitcoin. And providing liquidity is how you're actually making it possible for P Bitcoin and Bitcoin to be arbitraged between each other. Whenever Bitcoin is pumping or dumping in price, P Bitcoin actually needs to be repriced. So an arbitrage event happens. An MEV bot will come in, reprice the asset. But in doing so, they have to pay fees and taxes to the pod to access that arbitrage. And typically what we have seen is even if the fees are as high as like 15%, as soon as a price discrepancy is more than 15.1%, bots are scrambling to capture that arbitrage, just the 0.1%, and pay the pod 15%. So users who are volatility farming typically end up earning the lion's share of what arbitrage profits would be if they were running their own MEV bot or arbitrage bot. We sort of abstracted away, so you just deposit your LP, and because of how our protocol works with the taxes on the pod, users who are running their own bots are paying you taxes to access your arbitrage opportunity. So we democratize that LP for people, and they're not just providing arbitrage opportunities to other bots and not taking excess yield for that. But yeah, that's essentially what volatility farming is. You're just creating a synthetic token that harvests volatility into itself as the deposit asset. So P Bitcoin earns Bitcoin yield.